In this video session, we will be learning about Ohm's law, and we already know about working of a battery and ammeter and voltmeter. Ammeter is a device which is used to measure current in the circuit. Ammeter should be always connected in series. Ammeter to be connected in series measures current in the circuit. So as ammeter should be always placed in the path of the current, it should be always in series with the component in order to measure current passing through that particular circuit. And next is voltmeter. Voltmeter should be always connected in parallel because voltmeter measures potential difference. Potential difference is always measured between 2 points. So in between which 2 points you want to calculate potential difference, in between those 2 points you will be connecting voltmeter. Therefore it should be always connected in parallel with the component. And there is one more component in this circuit, it is resistor. Function of resistor we will be learning in the next topic. Resistor is a device which offer resistance. Resistor is a device which offer resistance and it is denoted with R, and there is another component which is battery, and battery offer potential difference. It stores, battery is also called source. It offer potential difference. It is simply it converts electrical energy, it converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Now this is an electrical circuit. We need to now verify Ohm's law from this electrical circuit, right? So you are connecting a battery. That battery is connected in series with the resistor. And in order to measure current in the circuit, you are placing one ammeter in the series. And in order to measure voltage dropped across this resistor, you are connecting one voltmeter in parallel with this resistor. Now total voltage is voltage which is supplied by the battery, and the voltage supplied will be equal to voltage dropped across this resistor. Now we will be measuring current in the circuit and voltage in the circuit by using these ammeter and as well as voltmeter. Now let us conduct one experiment for different values of voltage. What is the current measured in the circuit? Students, we will be conducting one experiment in order to verify Ohm's law. So this experiment consists these components where you will have a battery, a resistor, ammeter and as well as a voltmeter. Now what you will do, you will be taking one battery and that battery will offer variable voltage. So first you will be providing 10 voltage to the circuit. Corresponding to that 10 voltage, you will be getting some current in the circuit. I measure that current using as it passed through the ammeter. As it is passing through the ammeter will be showing you some current in the circuit, right? Now, if I measure current in the circuit, suppose I may get it as 5 ampere. For 10 voltage, you are getting current in the circuit as 5 ampere. You are increasing it to 15 volt so that it become 10 ampere. And then 20 volt, it is becoming 15 ampere. And then 25 volt, it is becoming 20 ampere. And then 30 volt, it becomes 25 ampere. Clear? So this is from your experimental activity. We are not doing anything. You are just performing the experiment. And from that experiment, you are increasing the voltage. Corresponding to the increase in the voltage, what is happened in current? That's what you are measuring. So voltage supplied as it is been increased, current passing through the circuit also goes on increases, right? So corresponding to this voltage, current in the circuit has been increased. So I can clearly write current in the circuit is proportional to supplied voltage. So how much amount of voltage you are providing, that much amount of current will be flowing through the circuit, right? So that's what I can simply write. V is directly proportional to I. Now, what do you write from here? V by I is proportional to some constant, or you can simply write V by I is equal to some constant, and this constant, which is the ratio of voltage with respect to current, is termed as a resistance of the circuit. It is termed as resistance of the resistor. Therefore, you can now write V by I is equal to R, or even you can write V is equal to IR. This is the experimental proof which you have got. What is this experiment telling you? This experiment is clearly telling that whenever you are supplying voltage, whenever you are providing potential difference to particular resistor, what is happening here? As you are measuring voltage with respect to voltage and current, as you are increasing the voltage, there is increase in the current. So clearly you can tell that current in the circuit is directly proportional to supplied voltage, and this is V equal to IR, known as Ohm's law. It is known as Ohm's law, right? So what is the statement given by Ohm? Ohm's law states that when remember, at constant temperature, current in the circuit is directly proportional to voltage provided. And this we have obtained from experimental proof. So from experiment we have concluded that current in the circuit is directly proportional to applied voltage. Do you have any questions to ask? See, we are not doing anything here. Just I have plotted graph for voltage and current. For taking different values of voltage, we have plotted current in the circuit. On y-axis I am taking current, on x-axis I am taking voltage. And if you mark all the points and join them, you will be getting a straight line. And for straight line, slope is constant, right? A straight line has constant slope. So now you can calculate slope, which is change in current. That means y component change divided by x component change. Taking any 2 points, you can find out that change in y-axis and as well as x-axis. It gives you delta I divided by delta V. So for every equal change in the current, there is equal change in the voltage. So delta I by delta V is equal to constant, right? Now if you observe from this Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. We have got V is equal to IR, right? Now observe this carefully. If I want to find out the resistance, what I'll do? If I want to find out the resistance, I'll be writing it as R is equal to V divided by I, or I'll write it as delta V divided by delta I, right? R is equal to delta V divided by delta I. What is delta V divided by delta I? It is 1 divided by slope. Is it not? Check it up clearly. It is 1 by slope. Therefore, in order to calculate resistance from VI graph, what you will do? First you will calculate slope, and take its reciprocal to find out the resistance. Reciprocal of slope of VI graph gives resistance. This is also one more important thing you need to learn. So if sometimes in question, if you are being given graph and asked to find out the resistance, then simply you will be calculating the slope by taking any 2 points on that straight line. You will be marking delta y-axis, along y-axis what is the change, along x-axis what is the change. You will be just substituting it in this formula for slope, and reciprocal of that slope gives you resistance of the circuit. So that is one more advantage which you have from this experimental activity. You can calculate resistance of the conductor which is used in this particular circuit. So we have learnt about Ohm's law, and the basic definition is with exception. Remember that it will be working out only if the temperature of the system or temperature of the conductor is remained same. So at constant temperature, voltage in the circuit is directly proportional to, current in the circuit is directly proportional to supplied voltage. And from there we have got equation for resistance. R is delta V divided by delta I, which is reciprocal of the slope of VI graph. And remember, resistance is defined from Ohm's law. And there are few factors on which resistance depends upon. What actually resistance mean, and on what factors that resistance depends upon, we will be discussing in next coming slides. Students, we have a wire, and in that wire there are free electrons, and electrons are denoted with pink dots and ions are denoted with green circles, right? Now what would happen when you are connecting this with a battery? So you are taking this wire and you are connecting it to a battery. When you connect it to battery, immediately there is some electric field setting up in the conductor, and that electric field will be from positive to negative, and this is E. And when the electric field is set up within the conductor of length L, what would happen? The electrons will be forced to move in opposite direction to that of electric field, and positive charges is forced to move in the direction of electric field. Now let me consider an electron which is moving in the opposite direction to that of electric field. So these are the electrons which are moving in opposite direction to that of electric field. All these electrons, each and every electron will be definitely moving because of this external field. As these electrons, when they move, as they are being drifted by the electric field, in their path they collide with ions. So moving electrons collide with ions. So what happens to these moving electrons? They collide with the ions. And when the moving electrons are colliding with the ions, what would happen to its kinetic energy? Kinetic energy of electrons decreases. So some part of kinetic energy of the electrons, because ion is very large in size than that of the electron, therefore electron with greater speed come and hit the ion, and as a result it loses its kinetic energy to the ion. Now what would happen? This ion absorbs some energy. As it is absorbing energy, definitely it should release energy. Therefore, each time an electron is losing energy, there comes out some heat lost in this process. Right? Heat is lost in the process. Therefore, when an electron is traveling throughout this length, like when it is starting at one end, say at this point A, an electron is moving. So this moving electron will be collided with the ion. It loses its energy. As a result, its speed decreases, so it cannot move faster now. And after collision, when its speed completely been lost, again there is electric field. It will experience force in opposite direction. Therefore, the same electron again gains some velocity. And when it is again gaining velocity and coming over here, it hit with another ion, and therefore it again loses its kinetic energy. That this is the way internally all the electrons which are drifted by the electric field, they collide with the ions, resulting in loss of their energy. That lost energy appears in the form of heat. Therefore, remember, moving charge in conductor, moving charge in conductor produce heat energy. So as a result, this metallic conductor gets heated up. This total metallic conductor gets heated up, right? And this phenomenon where electron is not readily moving from end A to end B, instead it is offered by some opposition due to presence of the ions. And this opposition of free flow of electrons within the conductor is termed as resistance. It is called resistance. Okay. Now the resistance of the conductor is defined as obstruction. What is meant by obstruction? Obstruction means it is opposing. Opposing for whom? Electron motion is opposed due to presence of ions. The resistance of the conductor is defined as the obstruction to the motion of the electrons in the conductor. The material which offers resistance to the motion of electron is called a resistor. So therefore, remember, any metal it can be, every metal will offer some resistance, but in case of some metals, there will be less magnitude of resistance. In case of some other, there will be less greater magnitude of resistance. So clearly, resistance changes from metal to metal. It changes from metal to metal. It depends upon few factors. So on what factors the resistance depends upon, we will see now, of course. And remember, resistance is inbuilt property. It is inbuilt property of conductor, any conductor. And not only conductor, even in case of insulator and semiconductors also, definitely there will be some resistance offered by that particular material. So resistance is inbuilt property of the conductor. Even though how far good conductor it is, definitely there will be some resistance offered by it. It is because of the presence of ions in the conductor. So fast moving electrons get readily obstructed by these ions. As ions are fixed at the lattice, this obstruction is by default within every conductor. Therefore, it is the general phenomenon or general inbuilt property of every conductor. And symbol of resistance has unit. Resistance unit is ohm, and its a symbol is ohm. This is the symbol of ohm. This is symbol of ohm. And the device which offer resistance is called as resistor, and symbol of resistor is this. This is the symbol of resistor. Okay. So a resistor is nothing but any conductor which has or which offer greater value or where there is greater opposition of free flow of electrons. That particular component is known as resistor. symbol of resistor is this, and unit of resistance is ohm, and ohm symbol is denoted with this symbol. Or you can even write 1 ohm is equal to, what is actually Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. Then how do you write R? R is equal to delta V divided by delta I. Therefore 1 ohm resistance is equal to 1 voltage potential difference supplied to the conductor with respect to 1 ampere of current. So therefore ohm can also be written as voltage by ampere. Volt by ampere is called ohm. It is called as ohm. Volt by ampere is also known as ohm. Ohm's triangle gives the relation between voltage, current and resistor. Now what is the significance of this Ohm's triangle? Suppose you want to write down equation for voltage, then close voltage. If you want to write down equation for voltage, what you will do? Simply you will be closing the voltage parameter, so that you will be getting the remaining thing is nothing but equal to voltage. Now see, you are closing this voltage. What is left over there? You are left with IR. Therefore voltage V is equal to IR. Similarly, suppose if you want to find out, if you want to find out equation for current, what you will do? You will close this current I, close that. What is left over with? It is V by R. I is equal to V divided by R. Similarly, if you want to find out equation for resistance, what you will do? You will close resistance. Then what is left over with? You are left over with V and I. Therefore R will be equal to V by I. This is very simple way you can remember equations for voltage and current and as well as resistor. So V is equal to IR. Close V so that you get IR. And I is equal to V by R. Close I, you will get V by R. Similarly, R, close R, you will get V by I. This is Ohm's triangle.